Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with Shuvo. And today we have a very special guest with us. And today is all about logistics, women in logistics to be very precise. And I'm very excited to introduce her to the show and would definitely embrace her in the show and the mic. And I am Shubho Ridosh. I'm the CEO of Success Zante. And then we bring in different specialists to at this point of time to give them the certainty that okay, this is not the end of the world. There are so many things that are happening out there, and it is anything is possible. So today we are going to talk to this lovely lady. So great. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I promise you, by the end of this evening, you will definitely have a better idea about leadership and how it works, how the empowering leadership can help to manage yourself and manage your team, even manage your family. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome uh, uh, a good friend of mine, Gayathri Karuranayaka. Gayathri, can we see you? Are you there?
Yeah, hi,
Hi. Hi, Gayathri. How are you?
I'm good. And
Good.
thank you, Shiv, for having me.
No
Right.
problem. So you're joining us from Hong Kong, right?
Yeah,
Okay. I can see a lovely background there. I know you're in a hotel, but in a very
I'm actually,
special condition.
yeah, I'm having my last day of quarantine, so I'll be out tonight. So I'm very
Okay.
happy. I'm excited to go home after. Actually, I spent 21 days in a hotel
Wow.
room, so that's
Okay.
why one of the kind of a record that I made.
But thank you very much. Even though you are going through this, but you give us an opportunity to share your thoughts about on leadership. Really appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank
And it takes a different level of commitment to do this. Thank you. And I'm very happy that today is the last day, and you're finishing it with this with our interview. Okay, great. So, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, before we go forward, let me just give a brief introduction of Gayatri. So Gayatri is a charter member of Institute of Logistics and Transport. Here, she holds a BSc from University of Bangalore and MBA from our very own Colombo University. She also holds an advanced diploma in logistics management from National Institute of Business Management. Gayatri has 17 plus years of experience on supply chain, and that's a lot. And was a leading logistics function. And she had the leading logistics function in Unilever Sri Lanka, responsible for end-to-end logistics function. She's also a process champion in SAP and ERP implementation and process development in logistics operations. She was leading customer service function in disruptive trade in Unilever Sri Lanka in the year of 2018 and specialized in retail and distribution. I'm sure she will share some of her examples from there as well as we go along in the interview. Gayatri is a former head of 3PL and contract warehousing in Spectra Logistics Private Limited, currently serving as a supply chain consultant in Logicare Private Limited. Now, the next part I really like. So, Gayatri is currently a vice chairman for South Asia for Willet. Now, Willet is a very unique organization. Now she's the global vice chairman, chairperson, and the chairperson for Sri Lanka chapter as well. And so, Willet means women in logistics and transport. So, a very focused, specific area, and for when it comes to logistics. So, she's the chairman for Sri Lanka chapter and vice chairman for global chapter. And she was appointed as the first treasurer in September 2013 and vice chairman in 2018. And she is a charter member in Charter Institute of Logistics and Transport. So a very enthusiastic lady. And then she was in Bangladesh and she has started, I mean, which is my country, so I'm very excited about that. So she has started the Willet chapter in Bangladesh. Congratulations on that, Gayatri. Thank you. Thank you for getting the ladies in Bangladesh together on logistics. Great. And she loves dancing and painting. So I had an opportunity to interact with her last month. A very lovely soul, and what you see is what you get from her. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Gayatri. Welcome to the show. And I know I've been welcoming you again and again, but
And
let me
thank you
ask
so
you
much
that.
for such a generous introduction about me.
Actually, it's all there, so I don't have to add anything else, right? Okay. So my first question to you, Gayatri. So when it comes to leadership, what's the definition of leadership for you? What do you think? How do you define leadership?
Okay. So for me, like it's not the traditional meaning of leadership, right? So where most of them feel as to be driven, athletic, problem solver, or independent. I think we are actually narrowing down and limiting the power of leadership there. I believe we must value more inclusive way of leadership, where we focus on more motivated, inclusive, team oriented, and collaborated. Uh, During my career, sure, I have seen many leaders of all trades. I've seen very few leaders who led more empathetic ways and who are more thoughtful to empower others. I see they are the best and they could create a better performing culture for any organization. And certainly, I would say, like, I can put some of my superiors to this bucket who could really develop my self confidence to take more authority on what I'm supposed to deliver. And that helps create a positive impact to myself and also to the organization. But I mostly believe one thing. When, more importantly, we must remember when we were made a leader, we were not given a crown. We were given a huge responsibility to bring out the best in others. So we actually must, as leaders, should figure it out how to make others responsible to take ownership toward themselves as always towards the organization. Uh, do I have time to relate a life experience here?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So to elaborate the same question, I would like to relate one life experience that I have during my career. There was a teammate who got rejected. A teammate very close to me. Even today, like he got rejected from most of the other departments, maybe for his poor performance. And same time, my department, I had a vacancy, so I took him in and gave him couple of weeks to settle in. And I observed he had a um, unique skill on a certain job, but I really had a gap to fill in my department. And over a couple of weeks, I managed to make him realize that he's empowered by welcoming his ideas and experience, and made him to realize that he's included in the team and decision making. Eventually he proved his mental, and he came up with shining colors. So that that was a moment, that experience made me realize the leadership is a service to others. That is a power in helping people to get excited about what they do, and inspiring and motivating them to unleash their full potential. So that's all about empowerment could do.
Got it. Wow, great. Thank you for that lovely example. And so you were talking about empathetic leadership, right? So, probably my next question is, now there are different types of leaders as you identified, right? Now, my
Yeah.
next question is, Now, the leaders, are they made or leaders made or born? Is it a fact or a myth?
I argue the fact that leaders are born,
Okay.
but because I strongly believe, I strongly believe that leaders are made because it starts from the way you are brought up.
Right. Okay.
Right? Leaders they have common skills of
So,
courageous. Like
sorry, Gayatri, can you repeat that? Readers there?
I think
Readers.
sorry, am I echoing? Sure.
No, no, you're not. You're not. Can you repeat
Right.
that? It was very good, very nice thing you said. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I strongly believe that leaders are made because it
Right.
starts from the way you brought up. What I
Okay.
was telling. Leaders
Right.
they have common skills of courageous, self-awareness, bold. But these skills are developed throughout your life at home, from your relationships, from our parents, friends, and school. I learned most of my leadership skills from school and the sports that I played. These skills were required over time. For me, that is the way of upbringing yourself from the time we were kids. I personally like my kids to take team games rather than an individual game. Of course, you may can take some sports like swimming as a life supporting skill, but the kids should be in a team game where they will learn their first lessons of leadership for their lifetime, such as motivation, sharing, empowerment, trust, what else? Responsibility, collaboration, ownership, teamwork, and team spirit, which is more important to be a leader, isn't it?
Hmm. Correct.
So think about a hockey match. I'm taking this sport because it's very close to my heart. I was a
Okay.
hockey player, and
Oh.
yeah. So there are 11 players in a hockey game, right? And a single player can't afford to reach the goalpost alone, right? Even you see the goalpost in front of you, there are times you have to pass the ball to your teammate to score. That is empowerment and trust. You empower your teammate to take the responsibility of winning the goal. So
Hmm.
good leaders are very humble. Have you seen leaders? They come to the canteen, even a chairperson or a chairman of an organization. If they come to the canteen to have their meals, so they treat all equal. Like you must have seen many leaders. They use the common canteen facility and sit the common tables and have the common food without any superiority. That is a good example because it automatically creates an environment that the teammates and other employees feel free. It binds the relationship, making teams to succeed. That bond that you create there is very powerful and strong. So I I tell the leaders are made because they are doing right thing through empowering others. They're doing right thing to keep a steady eye on the ball, I would say, and ensure consistent support of their team followers. That is more important. They ensure the consistent support of their team of followers. And they're very empathetic as they have ability to understand what your team is feeling. Is it also advantage for a leader? It is powerful always because it's a process of learning after all. Because I have gained a lot of experience and a lot of benefits out of people when they are in my side. As a leader, you will feel to get bold enough to take decisions when people are around you, and they lead by example without unbiasedness, and they have continuous learning because leaders are self-motivated. Sure, they consider embarking on their own development and learning. They do continuous learning.
Hmm.
Did
Got
I
it. Great.
answer your question properly? Why leaders are made,
Yeah.
not born?
Yes. So yeah, no, I can still relate to that. I mean, when I go back to my school life, So I was um, so when it comes to sports, I was not
Yeah.
actively involved, but I was the most number one cheer in the
Oh,
group, right? So
that
I
is also
when there is a cricket,
the team.
yeah, that's also important, right? So when
Yeah,
I
that's the
when
main
we used to go
role.
for cricket, yeah. So when we used to go for cricket or any kind of inter school football, they will be taking me because I had the loudest voice to cheer.
Okay.
So then I'm thinking when I'm listening, how did I contribute? But then I realized no, that's also important there. So, but it's so true that when you play with slow, I mean, it's very important. Your environment is more important than your willpower, and environment can make you or break you at the end of the day. So, which
Yeah,
is so
because
true.
why I am insisting that the kids have to take a team game is because that is where you take your hard lessons without any uh, influence. So
Hmm.
you automatically get your learnings out of there because it's school and your friends and you know how to share and you know how to even as you said that you were in a cheering squad. Yeah, mainly your job is mainly was motivation. You're motivating your team members, so that's more important, right?
Right. And then I can see in the later part of my life right now, I can see I love cheering people. I mean, if there is a potential, like I'm having simple conversation with you, through this, I myself learning so much about leadership, and your sharing is actually helping others to learn as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conversation with Gayatri, the global chairperson, vice chairman of Women in Logistics. If you have any question, please go ahead and ask. This is your opportunity to ask from the specialist herself. And so, my next question to you, Gayatri. Okay, my next question to you. Now you see, now when it comes to leadership, right?
Yeah.
How do you, as a leader, how to take care of an insecurity? I believe is not only in Sri Lanka, globally also, when you're working with a team, right? So there are leaders who feel very insecure. Or if you come and talk to them a bit loudly, they will say, hey, okay, they feel insecure. Okay, or probably, so the, let's say somebody superior than that person, you go and directly talk to them. The person you're reporting to, they will feel insecure. So how to deal with that, or in your view, how can we overcome that fear as a leader? Empowerment
Okay.
is good, but
Yeah.
how can we take care of the insecurity?
Yes, because I feel sure it's a myth again because fear comes due to more traditional way of leadership, isn't it? It is only I feel it is only backed by assertiveness or trying to raise the voice to be heard. But I feel nowadays this is no longer entertained in any boardrooms, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, because as a person, I had no fear to talk in front of a person who raised the voice to be heard. But what we must make sure is that the voice that we are bouncing back should not be threatening, and make it very clear to the point that we are trying to bring onto the table, right? So because good leaders are not evaluators of to label sorry, evaluate to label as anyone as a competitor for them, right?
Hmm.
As you said, other side of the story, yeah, there's a worrying fact of sometimes the insecure leaders because they might not, because mainly they might not introduce their stars in the team, give opportunities to grow, or they don't give any opportunities to learn new skills. They tend to be insecure when sometimes somebody is voicing out because they are having lack of knowledge or experience. So I always saw in my career these leaders get exposed to be unsuccessful because the truth is the ultimate truth is leaders should not get down from the parachute. I always believe the leaders should know bad and good by putting their hands on to the real work. These leaders will never inconsistent or insecure at any circumstances.
Okay, great. So focus on the good side of the conversation, and right, of course, I knew that the Gen Zs, of course, they have a different approach towards it. So the information is available anywhere. So and when you talk to them, I mean, my daughter, she's 13 or 15 plus. So
Okay.
she's going to be 14 this year. So I mean, her approach towards things, I can see it's totally different. And then she will tell. I mean, she knows a lot of information, and I
Yeah.
don't have to go and tell her. She comes and tells me that, okay, Dada, this is how things can be, and then it makes me think like, wow. When I was her age, of course, it was totally different scenario at that time, different type of leadership. Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, here's your opportunity to go ahead and ask. Please don't hesitate to put a question. Okay, okay. My next question. Uh, okay. Um, so, what's your leadership style at Willet?
Okay, that's a very difficult question to answer. That question as
No, it
you
should
have.
not be. No, it's very easy, right? Come on.
Yeah. So let me give a brief first about the Willet because
Yes.
I just want to give a small brief about women in logistics. So women in logistics transport, as you said, it's a women forum of Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Sri Lanka. And Willet have member base of over 3,500 globally, and Willet is present in 28 countries now. In 2013, Willet is co-founded by Gayathri Dialvis for Sri Lanka, and 2013 onwards, the Willet was driving a mission to empower women professionals in logistic industry and promote more and more women participation in logistics because fortunately, in Sri Lanka, it is not more than 4%, where the other countries, globally, it is over 20%. But that is not the proven statistics. But however, it is more than 20% globally. So, Willet promotes and developed various programs to help logistic professionals, especially creating the pipeline of the future leaders. We have various career guidance programs promoting gender parity in Sri Lanka, and within the industry, we have a signature program of mentoring called Ignite. For past 7 years, we've been mentoring young graduates and young managers from all verticals of logistics and supply chain, who are passing out from the universities and all. And Willet and CIIT has a vast network of logistic and supply chain professionals who are willing to support us any moment for mentoring these young graduates and young managers. And Willet, I feel, have created an ocean of knowledge that they can benefit from also. Uh, Willet, we have 4 strategic tracks that we has a vision, and we follow empowerment, entrepreneurship, leadership building, and mentoring. So they are the main strategic thrusts of Willet. I must say, and if I am a failure if I do not say this, like we have 24 dynamic women part of the executive committee of Willet. They are a brilliant group of ladies who are putting their heart and soul for the advancement of Willet so far, and they are very well committed. Through even though they are very busy with their personal and professional lives. So my role, I'll answer the question of show in this part, right? Show my role is as a leader. I personally bring my own ideas and self while trying to upskill my knowledge, so that hopefully help myself get heard, motivate, and develop the role models who are in the leadership strategy of Willet and its vision for the future. So more importantly, we are driving to create logistic and supply chain as a preferred career choice that anyone can take.
Great. So it's okay. So before you could answer, somebody has already answered here. Let me read something for you. Okay. Niroja Ghazali. So he says Gayatri is a good leader. She
Oh my
works with
God.
the team.
Niroz,
You know Niroja, is it?
yeah.
So obviously he knows you. Or she knows you. Yes, she knows you. Niroja says so she works with the team, um, sorority, and always asks for opinion from everyone. So that's how Gayatri's leadership is. So somebody has already answered before you could answer.
You say
Great. So we have thank you very much for contribution on that. Okay. So before we move on, so we have a question from Sasanka. So Sasanka is asking, okay, hi Gayatri, thanks for the dose of inspiration. Your career has primarily been in logistics. How do you commit, or how do you comment on the need of leadership in supply chain and logistics field? What are the leadership elements that becomes critical for a professional in supply chain?
Okay, so I will pick the logistic because it's a core subject of mine and also, in supply chain. Sasanka, I think logistics, if you take as a job, I feel that, I'm biased for it because I feel that logistic is the hardest job you can find because you have a lot of um, sectors of mindsets of people in logistics, and also logistic is a hardcore job and it is not easy. So when you're doing a leadership for logistic or supply chain, you should have to be a very empathetic leader, and you should be you should be a person who can empower, because the logistic gives you every day a problem. Every day it's just a learning for logistics. Even you are an expert in logistics, you will have a problem every day to resolve. Sometimes you'll get a problem which you have never even faced. So for that, you can't be everywhere. So as a leader, I feel the key is empowering. You have to have a trusted teammate or mates that you can empower your, because empowerment gives you delegate, always entertain for delegation. So delegation is the main function that you have to have, when you are leading a logistic and supply chain role. So I would say you should be more empathetic, and you should be a person who can empower others.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. And hats up to these 24 ladies who's managing Willet. I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to, because ladies are known for multitasking. I guess that's the reason it's like that, right? So doing work and then at the same time managing something else also along the way. Okay, great. So the next question. Um, okay, so Okay. Okay, Gayatri, before I go to the next question, I want
Okay.
you to share with the audience. We had a conversation. How did you join logistics? And I remember you mentioned something about your dad. I want you to share that story with the audience. I want you to share that.
Okay, that was my first job, right? I have I'm a professionally a genetic engineer, so I have done I have done a science honors degree. So after I studied in India. I came to Sri Lanka and I was looking for a job, and I got a first job as a management trainee. I got into um, a food processing company, and my father and mother were so delighted because I'm going to a food processing company and I'm trying to utilize my knowledge, which I have gained from my basic, I mean, the general degree. And but in that organization we had no manager to run the supply chain. and basically it's a food processing and export oriented organization. So there was a lot of export handling, like basically logistics. There were no anybody to handle it. So I personally volunteered that, I like that. So I said, in my second, after I joined after 2 weeks of training, of management training, and then I said I will take up that job. So I was put to manage entire packing line, from till the product land to the port. That entire chain I had to manage. So I was given some wharf clerks and so many clerical staff guys, so to do all these export processing documentations and all. And then I was so happy, and I found some spark there. So, and one day when I spoke to my father, and he was asking me how is the new job, I didn't tell him that I was doing logistics, because I remember one day he was telling me when I was running through, and he was telling me logistic is not a woman's job. It is meant to be a woman to handle logistics. It's a male. It's a it's that job is done by men, and
Male
so
dominated. Yes.
I didn't tell him that I was handling logistics. So I lied to him, and I was like, I gained my basic logistics knowledge in that. I really I really thankful to that organization, because I was put to deep end. I didn't do anything about logistics. So I started learning logistics from that point. I was there before I joined into Unilever. I was there for about 3.5 years, and that's
Great.
it.
So I every time I listen to the story, it's very inspiring to hear that, and because when you want to pursue your dream, nothing can stop you. So you're a true example for that.
Yeah, but
Okay. Yeah.
and I want 1 minute, because I want to give a message to the women listening, or young girls listening this conversation, right?
Yes.
So yeah, because we should not have any kind of any fear to take up any logistics, or hardcore logistics, even hardcore logistic job, because uh, I proved that time. Sorry, if my father is listening this conversation, I proved my father was wrong, because for a lady, it's very easy to handle logistics, because I feel uh, men don't get offended, but for the ladies, they will definitely have more empathetic nature, so that you really can get into the logistic job, and you really can have you can do wonders there. So that message I just wanted to
Brilliant.
give.
Very powerful and timely message. That's what we require at this point. We require a lot of empathetic leaders to take the current situation, give people around you the certainty. Now, this conversation that we are having right now, that itself will give a lot of certainty. Now, having said that, so I have the pleasure to welcome Gayathri Alvis in the audience.
Oh
So
my
she
God.
is there, and she has made a comment. So let me just read it out for you. Happy to see our little dynamo Gayathri, chairperson of Village Sri Lanka and Global Village chairperson of Village South Asia, making an impact not only with women but in general in the logistics industry. There you go. So
Oh,
the
thank
chairperson
you.
herself of Global Village is here. Thank you, Gayathri, for joining us and giving your positive comment to this conversation. I have another comment for you, Gayathri. So, okay,
Who is that?
how do you pronounce this? Okay, Stefan, I can read. Dasham, okay, Dasham Stefan. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Okay, so
Oh,
she says Gayatri thrives in challenging environment. Your story always inspires me. So you are inspiring people. You are inspiring ladies, right?
thank you.
And brilliant. Okay, so If you have any question, this is your opportunity to go ahead and ask the woman in logistics, the chairperson for Sri Lanka and vice chairman of Willett Global is here to answer any of your question with leadership, empowering leadership. Great. So thank you very much for sharing your personal story. I know it's tough. I saw you got a bit emotional when you were sharing that. So when the sharing is genuine, I mean it always shows. Always shows. Okay. So let me ask you. Uh, Okay, so what are the three tips you want to share on empowering leadership?
Okay. Three tips I would take. First one as empowerment. I mean, it's nothing but trusting your team members, right? I value trusting them to take responsibility what they are assigned to, right? Through that, we can build the self-determination of the person to take extra ownership of their work. It's nothing but creating magic through ownership. So why we have to create ownership is sure any organization, right, to develop the entrepreneur mindset. So once you've done that, itself receive best out of them. I should be very humble to say my seniors and my mentors, including Gayathri, who's listening, literally they were trusting me. In fact, they threw me to the deep end when I was not at all ready. And but I was given enough opportunity to get myself trained, survive, and shine. Because I remember once upon a time when I was just joining Unilever, and I take one story show, like Gayani put me to present to the board. I was so young and I was like just joined Unilever, and she gave me ample opportunity to train myself and survive, and I mean to understand the real uh, how to take the real opportunity to thrive yourself. And I see, because I was empowered to take ownership, it really helped me to perform and bring credits and values to the organization, because I tend to walk extra mile all the time, and it gave me such a pleasure as if I found my purpose. So I feel the empowering team is like, trusting team, giving the space to them, feels you makes a very good environment. And second tip I would give is support team members' independence and appreciate their efforts. So if a leader who is constantly looking over the shoulder of the teammates is a little more than a babysitter, isn't it? Sure.
Yes,
We
yeah,
can give
we
teammates,
have
yeah,
that kind of business as well. Yes.
yeah. So we can actually give teammates reasons and opportunities to speak out on their, without being a micromanager. They may stumble, but they learn a lot and build the respect of their colleagues while preparing to be a great empowering leader themselves one day. So that should be their dream, right? So we have to develop, I mean, we have to put doors to have that dream in themselves. So it's very easy when the leader has a deep knowledge on operation or the work. I mean, I'm a personal advocate that the best employees don't work at your company for just for the money. Empowered people need a greater level of satisfaction than simply financial benefits.
Hmm.
So they need appreciation for their contribution and knowledge. I have never been shy about finding ways to say thank you or celebrating the good things in my team. Even a simple thing, I constantly do that. So the very first morning when I sit on my table, I actually find whether I can give a motivational thought or I can give a simple appreciation for something that had happened yesterday for my teammates. So it is contagious. So it gives other teammates also to perform. And the third tip I would give is open communication. Uh, Normally, we have seen in the most of the organization top to down communication from the management, right? I think we are restricting and creating an environment for team members to feel there's a no purpose is taking. I mean, we make sure. I mean, we unfortunately make team members to feel that there's no purpose in taking stand and create less impact. As a leader, you can share a clear direction, but let team to approach you at any time. Yeah. So as a person, uh, I value responding even a text message as soon as I can because I know the other person is approaching us, whoever who's approaching us for a reason, right?
Mm,
Leader can have a great vision and more experience, but that doesn't invalidate feedback and ideas from your people on the front lines. We need to help them understand that their input is valued. If you decide to get a different way, even right, in my career, I have made sure to acknowledge them for sharing and reward valuable input that help my job easy actually, and even making company easy. So sometimes your teammates ideas may be relevant, right, less impactful, but normally honor and listen because if even if it is most critical problem or a time of decision making, I tend to end up proving my own viewpoint without making them feel small or demotivated.
mm,
So what we are finally dreaming for, we are dreaming for more and more empowered and performing people, right?
mm. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Great. So three valid points: take ownership, support your team members, and open communication. I mean,
Yeah.
this is brilliant. I'm loving this conversation. So, do you practice all these three in your own life as a leader?
Yes, I do because I have actually this is all these 3 points are my top 3 points when I
Yes.
am
And
yeah, kind
I can vouch for it because the interaction what I have with you when you were in Sri Lanka, every time I spoke to you, I saw these 3 points in action. So I can vouch for it. So so you are a leader who walks the talk. Great. And not only me, the people in the chat box as well, they are mentioning about your goodness and your goodness of the leadership. You're a democratic leader, even even your
of
chairman. So she also mentioned about it. So great. Anything else? Any parting thoughts you want to mention, ladies and gentlemen? If you have it before we finish, if you have any question, please go ahead and ask. And Guy would definitely be happy to answer that question. If you have any question or good comments, please go ahead and mention it. So, so any parting thoughts? Any last message you want to give a leader from a leader to
so
the leaders who are listening?
yeah, my last message is like the last answer that I gave. So what we can do as a good leader, we don't want to have like masters in leadership or anything, but you should have, you always have to I think there is a book called Six Thinking Hats, where that you should wear the hats at the moment. So you should be, as a leader, you should be able to wear that six hat, you know, any moment, and follow that three tips that I gave, like taking ownership, communication, and having more open, giving so much of trust by creating ownership, open communication, and also the support that you can give it to the team members to be independent and appreciate their work. So that is the
Great.
last message that I
Thank you very much
want.
for reiterating the 3 points. So thank you, guys. We really appreciate. Today is your last day at quarantine, and you are here with us
And
having a conversation. So I really appreciate, as I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, that that shows your commitment and anything. I mean, and I would like to really appreciate your contribution to this conversation, and looking forward to seeing you again live, right, very soon. And really appreciate, and then your we don't have to say much. All the comments your colleagues and team members they have made over here. It says a lot about yourself. Thank you. Really appreciate, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate your presence at our real talk with Shuvo. And today we had a bit more informal. Actually, today's conversation was a little bit more informal than the other days. But I really enjoyed, and I really appreciate your question and contribution to this conversation. So leadership. So I'd like to finish with a note and look out for our next real talk with Shuvo. We are planning to bring in and a very unique entrepreneur, so who's representing business the entrepreneurs around the globe through a simple group. So I will be sharing the detail with you very soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And so, leadership is it goes hand in hands with mindfulness. So when we are when it's not about your past, not about your future. Like here, right here, the conversation that what we are having, and you decided to join us in this conversation because simple thing is a simple decision can change your life's destiny. So with that,
Small
this is
actions
Shuvo
can make
signing.
big difference.
Sorry, go
Small
ahead.
actions can make big difference.
Big difference, yes. With open communication, ownership, and support from the team members. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I will see you on our next Real Talk with Shuvo. Thank you, Gayathri, and
Thank
have a
you,
good evening.
thank you again for having me today and for the
Thank you.
wonderful session. Yeah, thank you so much.